One of my clients described it like this. He was like, look, Rachel, I jumped out of an airplane once and my chute didn't open. I'm lucky that I survived. Why the heck would I ever jump out of a plane again? That's what getting married again feels to a lot of men after divorce, right? They're going through this shocking, blindsiding divorce. They knew maybe there were some problems in the relationship, but nothing this bad, nothing that warranted divorce. They don't really understand what's going on. Their wives won't give them a satisfactory answer. And then they start looking at the statistics and they see that somewhere between 60 and 70% of second marriages end in divorce. And they're like, this is a losing game. Why would I ever get back in it? But what they don't realize, and what my client didn't realize, was the reason the parachute didn't open wasn't because it was inevitable that his parachute wouldn't open, or because 50% of parachutes don't open. It's true that 50% of parachutes in the case of marriage don't open and they end in divorce. But the ones that don't open, it's because the chute was badly packed. Most people get married with a terribly packed chute. Not only is it packed badly, but they've got all kinds of childhood trauma, codependency, attachment wounds, and coping mechanisms all shoved right in there with the parachute. And then if they do get married again after the divorce, after the chute fails, what do? Well, most of the time, most people just shove everything right back in there and they jump out of the plane again exactly the same way that they did before. But if you learn how to pack your chute and how to clear out all of that extra baggage, you can be confident that it will open every single time. This is what I see in my coaching practice. When men clean up all of that baggage, when they clear out the childhood trauma, when they recognize and heal their codependent patterns, when they heal their attachment wounds, when they understand their coping mechanisms and start to take control of them, when they become responsive instead of reactive, they start dating, they get in new relationships, and they start telling me like, wow, Rachel, this is crazy. This relationship is so different. It feels so different. The communication is so different. That same man who was like, it feels like jumping out of a plane, knowing my chute's probably gonna fail, he's engaged now. And he told me when he first started this new relationship about 4 months in, he's like, Rachel, it's crazy. It's only been a few months and I feel closer to her than I ever did in all of those years with my ex-wife. The statistics don't have to apply to you. You can break free of them, but it's going to take some work. And it's not just work on communicating better or becoming this alpha male leader that women want. If you do those kinds of things, you're staying in the same cycles. Your parachute is going to fail again. So what does it really mean to pack your chute properly? Well, it all starts with you. How well do you know yourself right now? Do you know who you are? How about who you are outside of this marriage, outside of the role of being a husband, a provider, a protector, a father? Who are you at your core? How about your emotions? What is your relationship like with your anger, with your grief, with your anxiety or your fear? Do those emotions hijack your brain and start acting for you when you don't want them to? Do you find yourself lashing out, withdrawing, shutting down, getting overwhelmed, unable to sleep, waking up in the middle of the night? Do you find yourself saying or doing things you wish you didn't? Or do you look at women and see something very scary? Do they all kind of look like your ex-wife? And you can only imagine what's going to happen in the next relationship because you don't really understand what went wrong in this one in the first place. A lot of men get stuck because they think that the key to understanding why their marriage ended in divorce is with their ex-wife. Like they have to get an explanation from her. They have to figure out the why from her. You guys, she never has to talk to you again, and you can still learn how to pack your parachute so that you can be absolutely certain your next relationship will not end the same way. Because the answers are not in her. She doesn't have them. The answers are in you. It's your patterns, your part in what went wrong in this relationship that you need to identify. And I'm not saying that this is all your fault. And I want to be really, really clear here because I know a lot of you have been told that this is all your fault. It's not. It's not. And so often the woman who is accusing you of it all being your fault has way more of the blame than she wants to admit. She's often the high conflict spouse. But that doesn't mean that you didn't have a part. And this is good news, you guys, because if you had a part in this, then that is within your control. That is something that you can change, that you can learn and grow from, and you can play a different part. The part that you played in the divorce, there's really two pieces. There's the part before you even met your wife, well, when you met your wife, and then there's what happened after. So when you're learning to pack your parachute, one of the things you have to look at is why and how did I choose this partner in the first place? I see a lot of complaints on YouTube, a lot of men saying that women are only interested in you if you have a big wallet and lots of cash, if you're rich. And I actually see a lot of my clients in those situations too, dating women who are much younger than them, marrying women who are much younger than them, providing all of the financial support and never getting anything back, right? She's just spending lots and lots of money, and they think that at some point, if they provide enough, they're going to get that affection and love. You've got to stop and look at that pattern. Why is it that you were drawn into that dynamic to start with? Usually this goes back to your childhood experiences of intimate love. What did your parents model for you? What did you learn about yourself, your worthiness, your lovability? What were the lessons that you grew up with around what love is? And for a lot of men, what they learn is that I have to be a very specific kind of man in order to get love. But the problem is when you're looking at love that way, the people that you're finding yourself drawn and attracted to are the ones that match it. Right? So a lot of men will tell me that they're starting to date again and they're like, well, I'm really attracted to this woman, but she reminds me a lot of my ex-wife. Don't go out with women who remind you of your ex-wife. You're getting pulled right back into the same patterns. There are lots of women out there that are self-aware, that have learned how to pack their own parachutes, how to be partners in a relationship. And I want to tell you guys what that relationship looks like, that healthy relationship that I see so many of my clients getting in. Validation from your ex-wife isn't going to fix your next relationship, and it certainly isn't going to prevent you from ending up in this situation again. Learning the basic rules that govern human communication and intimacy will. When my clients learn this, they keep asking me, why don't they teach this in school? It's a great question. I don't know. They should teach it in school. If they did, you wouldn't be divorced right now. It might be too late to save your marriage, but it isn't too late to save your next relationship. Drop the word change in the comments or DM me the word change on Instagram, and I will send you the free training that your third grade teacher should have given you years and years ago. That's the relationship where both partners are able to come up to each other and say, I see you. I see you when you're triggered. I see you when you're reactive. I see your patterns, and I'm here. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to judge you for it. I am present with you as we both work to keep healing ourselves, to keep becoming more securely attached, less codependent, feeling more safe in the relationship. Both people have to have that awareness to be able to be working on their own baggage, learning how to pack their own parachute better. You don't have to be perfect at it. The relationship can help you. And this has been one of the most beautiful lessons that I've gotten as a coach myself, because it has transformed my marriage and the way that my husband and I approach each other. It's not that I never get triggered. It's not that he never gets triggered. We both have our patterns, the lessons we learned about intimate love from our parents. We have our coping mechanisms, how we deal with conflict. But we're both aware of those patterns and we're working to shift them. And we're getting better and better. But the cool thing is that now that we're both conscious of it, we can support each other, right? So if he gets angry and lashes out, I don't take it personally. He used to get angry at somebody else and I would freak out. Like it was so uncomfortable for me. I couldn't be in the room and there was this tension in the air. It doesn't bother me anymore because I know what it is. I know what that pattern is. And I also can see him working to do better, working to shift it. And the same with me, right? My learned coping response to conflict was to pull away and withdraw. It used to be so bad that I literally could not speak if I was in fight or flight. If I was really triggered in a conflict, it was like I could not even open my mouth and make words. It was crazy. It was like paralyzing. That doesn't happen to me anymore. But sometimes, yes, I do still feel the desire to withdraw, but I can recognize it now. And when I do, my husband recognizes it too and doesn't hold it against me. Right? Because we both see how we're both working to recognize and heal our old patterns and our old wounding. And so we can support each other in that process, and now we can grow together and we can become, what happens is that those moments where one of us gets triggered or reactive that would have escalated and blown up into a big conflict, those moments actually become an opportunity for deeper connection because we have this understanding and compassion that we can offer to one another. This has been the biggest gift I have gotten from coaching personally, is this awareness that has allowed me such a greater depth in my own marriage. Those relationships are possible for you. But you have to start with that awareness of, how did I choose this partner in the first place? Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself drawn to and choosing partners who reinforce your negative cycles instead of partners who can help you break them. So that's the first area that you've got to look at. The second area is, what did you do in the relationship itself? What was your role in the breakdown of communication, in the escalation of conflict or reactivity? Right? And you can start to recognize all of these patterns in yourself, and that awareness is what's going to allow you to change them. If your next question is, okay, Rachel, I hear you, I need to learn how to pack my parachute and then I can have a healthier relationship, how do I do it? If you want to learn how to pack your parachute so it opens 100% of the time, if you want the step-by-step process for getting through codependency, healing your attachment wounds, recovering from childhood trauma, and breaking those coping mechanisms that cause you to lash out or shut down, if you want the step-by-step process to do that, come with me into my free masterclass. It's going to show you how to get started with this, how to start letting go of the pain, getting your ex out of your head in just 30 days. Type change into the video comments, and I will send you the link to this free masterclass.